2025 rale amogela amukela. So let's look at solving for x. That's the first thing you're going to do anyway. So this is a revision type question for grade 10 and 11. You know, 10, 11, and 12, they are all in the same bracket, especially for solving for x. So number 1.1.1, how do you solve this? So this teaches you a very important concept where clearly you have your equation equals to 0, and then you have two brackets. Clearly it has been solved. So what you do is you just deal with this bracket independently and this one, because x is already here equals to -5. Here x will be equals to a half by just looking, by just observing. So how you do it is 2x minus 1 is equals to 0, or x plus 5 is equals to 0. From this point you are done, because if you take your constants to the right, the 1 becomes positive and the x will be equals to a half. Here x will be equals to 5. And then let's look at the next question, 1.1.2. Again, when you look at your question, look for signals on what you must do. So the signal here clearly for me will be leave your answer in the simplest set form. So we know that if they say set form, it should mean we can use the quadratic equation or we can use difference of squares. Now, obviously in your textbook, topic or let's say term 1, for paper 1 especially, you start off with quadratic equations. So this is a quadratic equation. To leave it to set form, you need to use the formula as given in your formula sheet, which is -b plus minus, right, square root of b squared minus 4ac. Now after that, all this over 2a, this is the formula. Yeah, you shouldn't know it off by heart because it's in the formula sheet, but once you've jotted it down, start identifying what is b, what is a, what is c. So clearly here the coefficient of the first number in the in the quadratic equation is 2, right? The coefficient is 2. Now for the coefficient for the second number in the quadratic will be -4, right? -4, which is our b. So a is 2, b is -4, and then c is 1. Then you just substitute into the equation. So for -b, you'll have your -2 plus minus, and then square root of. So b squared is 4, right? So 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 4. A is 2. So if you noticed my errors, please correct me. But 4 times 2 times 1 will be 8, right? So here you have your positive 8 and positive 4, which will be 12 over 2a. 2 times 2 is 4. So if you have a calculator, you can insert this into the calculator and you'll get your solutions. I can do it also, but I'd rather you do it with a calculator, and then I'll move on to the next question. Remember, for any questions, you can contact us on papa.mkhabela@gmail.com. I'll give you the address at the end of the class. So right now, let's look at the following. 1.2. You have exponents now and sets, as well as some fractions there. So you must simplify without the use of a calculator. So 125 to the power of 2 over 3. How do you do this? So clearly 125 is equivalent to 5 to the power of 3. So your final solution for this, because now you'll have 5 to the power of 3 times 2 over 3. So clearly you'll have your 5 to the power of 2, because the 2 3's will cancel each other. So 5 to the power of 2 is like 5 times 5, which is 25. So for the 2 marks, you are done for that. So now you're looking at this set form here. Now, you are supposed to simplify this set form. And then you are given 2 brackets. What I do is I FOIL in these cases. I FOIL. So let's start off by saying 3 root 2 minus 12, close bracket, and then 2 root 2 plus 1, close bracket. So what you do is you go 3 root 2 times 2 root 2, and that will give you something like 6 times 2. Remember, 2 squares cancel each other out. So a square root and a squared, they cancel each other out. So that's the concept I've used here, and you must not forget that part. Now, 3 root 2 times 1 will give me, so anything multiplied by 1 is that number, right? So 3 square root of 2. Now we are done with our first binomial, right? Now we're going to the second number, which is negative 12 times that. So it's like saying 12 times 2. What do you get? 24. So you'll have 24 root 2 for this one, which will be plus 24 root 2. And then I can already see my like terms and so forth. So I'm simplifying without the use of a calculator as instructed. Negative 12 times 1 will be negative 12. So 6 times 2 is 12. So this and this will cancel each other out, right? And now you are left with the 2 like terms, which is you have your 3 root 2 plus 24 root 2. So these are like terms. 24 plus 3 should give you a simple 27 root 2. And that's your final solution for the 3 marks. So you are done with the bulk of this question 1. So now let's look at 1.3, and then I'll give you my contact details. Dumela. Are solving for x. Kamile rutwa le hore ayo master wa sekgowa or wa Sesotho. So now get the toilet is something ka Sesotho straight up. So 20 seconds and I say so solve for x 1.1.1. Are shading here. Le hopole hore let's solve for x. Your intention is gore o fitle ko pointing more answer ya how it will be equals to 0. How now the bracket here? Sure, say so value for when all you must do kuri utoka la kaore 2x minus 1 is equals to 0. Now, se ke buile hore e so value ha ile ka tsela. So once it is so clearly tlamelo transpose asintwe tlamelo go jotse yona, and then you divide it by 2 on both sides. total x equals to 1 over 2, so half. So how fetsa here o tla etsa a bracket e bonolo here yona, because x will be equals to, again we go transpose a 5a, it will be negative 5. So we don't need many steps. For 1 minute, we know it's at 2 marks. 1.1.2. But for quadratic equation, term 1, it's all about quadratic equations and how to solve quadratic equations. There are many methods. One of them is using the quadratic formula. So in because I will leave your answer in the simplest set form. So it's about this quadratic equation. So for 1.1.2, 1.1.2, formula formula sheet, and I'm hoping everybody will formula. Get substitute into the formula. Hoping now it's able formula. Now, formula A comprises of A, B, C. Points again. So how get x is equals to negative b, and it will change again, it's a negative. Get a bracket negative 4. Because b was like negative 4. And then get a plus minus according to formula. And then kibule square root or radical by this again. If I get a camera square root, b again, b squared. So for b squared, instead of working on negative 4, can say that negative times negative is positive. 4 times 4 is 16. So you can't allow the 16. You can't allow the b squared. We're not going to share a formula. If you kill a 16. So that's your task. And then for Mona, Hona left 4. So we got 4 times A, which is 2 again. 4 times 2, and then you carry times. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times negative 4. So negative 8 times negative 4. That's going to be 32 again. So negative times negative, yet positive. So you come for positive man, 32. And then all over 2a over 2 times 2, you come for 4. So once you are at this point, you are going to use a calculator, you are going to answer how. Now get only the solution. So it only remember the solution after you have sent me showing what's in. Then I'll mark accordingly. I get a recovery assessment after this. So now for 4 minutes we've done this. Now we can move on to 1.2. So go 1.2. Barry simplify without the use of a calculator. So Barry bonds here in a lady exponential expressions. So for this exponential expression, you're going to get 125 over or to the power of 2 over 3. So instead of working only as 125, that's already the equivalent exponential number. Yeah, 125 is 5 to the power of 3. Because 5 times 5 it on 25. 3 times 5 it on 125. So that's how 5 to the power of 3 equivalent, yeah, 125. So after this, hopefully on the exponent already, yeah, 2 over 3. Then into auto is auto simplify a part a exponent. Wabona hori unali 3 o kamonte ha bracket. Utsana lori 3 over 1 again. So I'm going 3 times 2 to 6. And then worry 1 times 3 to 3. Worry 6 at the end divided by 3 to 2. So chori mona to 5 squared, which is the same as what? 25 again. So fedite the second one. Now ena ya bobedi e tlo batla hore because ke expression wa bona le wena a ina equal sign, and then wa bona o filo di bracket tse two, sure you must multiply into these brackets. Ke batla o check the difference between 1.2.2 and 1.1.1. The difference is that LNA equation, so you have to solve for x. And you are simplifying until more in its simplest form, even if you don't solve for x. So right now, for like 3 square root of 2, we're going to multiply only 2 square root of 2. That's the first thing we do. So R is always and 2. Whatever how rank are square root of 2 times square root of 2 because 2, because how multiplier the square root sets one, the cancel a square root. Or another simple way of explaining it, square root and squared, they cancel each other out. So right now, because there is that principle, so 3 times 2, which is 6. So answer is 6, and then the square root is cancel and 2 again. So get to 6 times 2. And then move on to the next one. 3 square root of 2 times 1. Anything multiplied by 1, you want 2 again. So we're as 3 square root of 2. And then we go the next one, which is negative 12 times 2 square root of 2. So it's like saying negative times positive. The first thing you're going to write is the sign, which is going to be negative. Okay. 12 times 2 equals 24. And then the square root remains as is, which is square root of 2. And then really negative 12 times 1, which is the negative. And then anything multiplied by 1 is that thing. So 12 is the solution there. And then no the like terms. So if you can negative 12, more can 6 times 2 or positive, or 12. Surely they are canceller because the sign here this one, one positive, one negative. So they cancel each other out. These are like terms that didn't happen. Like for example, Lorna plus 3 square root of 2 minus 24 square root of 2. So you get it like terms. Now don't sign of a bigger number, which is 24, don't a negative. So 24, we go minus a 3, we go to 21. So ultimately, answer how? It will be negative 21 square root of 2. So we simplify it to its simplest form. Bring it about 9 minutes worth on 20. Camilla cut it down to 5.